That right here. butt of a goat. Hey everybody, I hope you enjoyed that video of the Kofa Mountains and you weren't too weirded out by the weird meandering music, but it's a strange place and I was meandering through it. So I think it's one of the more undervalued landscapes in all of Arizona. I took this picture a few years ago there. I think it was in October of 2020. It's just a beautiful place, and I hardly ever hear anybody talk about it. I've been coming to this mountain range since I was a little kid with my family. I never knew what the word Kofa was, what it meant. I always just thought it was a name. It wasn't until a couple of years ago that I actually learned that it's an acronym, I guess. It stands for King of Arizona. And it wasn't until basically just now that I learned that Kofa is the name of a old gold mining operation, long closed down. They would stamp all of their property with K of A, which now gives us Kofa that we use today. Anyway, to get there is pretty easy. Just type in Palm Canyon Trail. Let's just do the directions real quick. Let's say you're coming from the west on the 10, you take exit 17 south. If you're coming from the east on the 10, it's actually exit 19. Either way, you're going to the same place. You're headed south on the 95. 95 for Arizona, that is, not 95 California. You're gonna head south from there for about 20 miles until you hit Palm Canyon Road. Turn left on Palm Canyon Road if you're coming from the north. And then from there, it's about a 7-mile drive on this dirt road. It's a pretty well-maintained dirt road, but there is a lot of that washboard, really slows you down. Not the funnest thing to drive on, but just take it slow and then you will eventually get up to this parking lot. And most people take the established trail here that goes right up into the canyon, but I've done that a lot. I saw this in the satellite imagery, just this faint little trail, and then it eventually narrows down into one trail. I wanted to see where that went. And I could see that from the map, from the satellite imagery, that it wasn't going to go very far. It's just going to go along this wall here. My plan was to keep going across this wash and just kind of see where it takes me. That rock with the weird hole in it, that's this thing right here. That's the trail. But anyway, after that's when I started walking across this thing, and I eventually got to the base of this hill right here. And that's what I hiked up, the summit right here. Kind of cool. Pretty neat. And then where I saw that bighorn sheep, just that single bighorn sheep, was perched right on this little cliff right here across the way. It was there the entire time I was there. It's pretty cool. Truthfully, it's not the greatest place for footpaths for hiking, and that's why you saw me kind of sauntering through the desert eventually. That got old after a while. I didn't want to risk maybe twisting an ankle. It was like ankle twist city there for most of that. I was just kind of hiking through a wash, and that's why I aimed myself towards that little peak, that little summit. Wasn't sure what it was going to look like by the time I got to the base of it, if I was going to actually be able to hike to the top of it or not. Stood there for a couple of minutes staring at it, and then I finally decided, you know, what else am I doing? I'm out here trying to exert myself, so let me try to exert myself. It took about 35 minutes to get up to the top of the thing. I had that beer at the top. I had that great view for about an hour. That bighorn sheep hung out with me there the entire time. And then slowly made my way down and had a really relaxing walk back. Speaking of which, like I said earlier, not much for trails, not much for footpaths in the area, but I did find in some research a trail that goes to the top, goes to the summit from around the back. It looks like another pretty freaking primitive trail. Stay tuned. I think I'll probably try doing that one next. Hike up to the top of that thing and maybe spend the night. I'm hiking around with that backpack as it is. By the way, if you're wondering why I'm hiking around with that backpack, it's because I'm training to do a through hike of the Trans-Catalina Trail again. Getting back out there, gonna make it happen. Not gonna quit this time. And like I said, if you guys like this particular video, I have another one very similar to it right here. That's only about 2 minutes long of me solo hiking up a 14,000 footer White Mountain Peak. So good fun there, and I hope to see you guys there. All right.